Hey there, Rebus Forever here. Welcome to the second part of my Flotsam gameplay, sort of working out what I think of the game. Half of this is before the performance patch, and half of this is after the performance patch. I'll say when, and well done to the devs for getting a patch out that fixes the performance so quickly. I'm not sure what the seaweed's going to be used for, but I'm determined to salvage it all before I leave here. Just in case it's really useful. Hopefully people can eat it. They're going to need that. There are definitely no more fish left. Oh, we should depart. We really should depart. Once he returns, I will move on. Okay, that will have to do. We've got 0.5 food. Seaweed isn't worth people's lives. Unless, you know, there's something I don't know about seaweed. See, now this is interesting. There's like this big whole skip forward thing. That would be quite interesting. I mean, I'm going to do a save game first because I don't know if that's the right decision. So, oh, that's cool. When you get to the end, it beams you back to the beginning, and then you can replay the map as many times as you please. Okay, that's a good system to allow replayability, especially, or not necessarily replayability, but longevity to the play that you're playing. After quite some time, I imagine you will be able to get quite a large population going. Okay, well that's a pretty decent feature. And it also explains how comes everything that you get is so eked out, unlimited, because you're going to be potentially playing it for longer than I imagined. It's all making a lot more sense to me now. Okay, let's advance scarily far forward and miss out all of these. Okay. Fingers crossed this isn't a dreadful mistake. Oh wow, okay, so there's a quick route to the end. Okay, first of all we need to pause, and I need to set some fishing up. Boot the place. I don't wish we could hunt the whales. I'll leave the whales alone. I did something pop up there? No? Okay. There's some fish. If I missed a really big resource of fish on any of the previous maps, depending on which ones you see, don't let me know in the comments. I don't need to know that. It would be distressing to find out. It would upset me, so just keep it to yourself. Okay, there is loads of food here. I have water all sussed out. So it looks like I'm going to be able to hang around for quite some time. What do we have in the vicinity? We have some fuel, metal, and technology. So let's salvage the map first, and the food, and then we'll harvest the resources with the time left. I'm a bit anxious about the food situation again, but I seem to have both of my fishing boats going out and being well behaved. And we are lower. Oh, we've got a reasonable amount of everything. Oh, there's a fish area there, not covered. I'll send the seagull to salvage from here. Okay, I can definitely recommend to anyone playing this game that solar stills are the way to go for water reclamation. This distiller here is a pain in the face. It's just a waste of wood. Because I do have a bunch of scrap metal, I'm going to unlock the scrapsmith. That's how we unlock things. I'm even gonna build one too. Where would be a good place? I mean, there wouldn't be a good place, as it goes. That'll do. And then I should be able to build more advanced buildings if technology allows. I mean, if the map even allows. Ah, didn't mean to do that. I meant to have a look at my town inventory. And great, you know, I'm self-sustainable now on the waterfront. I certainly wasn't in my last game. Okay, so this building will convert scrap into pipes and screws as per my needs. As soon as I don't know what I need at the moment, I'll leave that alone. Oh, I'm going to hope that the fish kebab will enable me to make my fish stocks last longer, and thus enable me to stay about for longer. I'd really like the fishing hut, but without the plastic recycler, I cannot build that, and the plastic recycler requires 15 points. I have 6, or 11 before I bought the barbecue. So, I should be able to build things, but I can't. I'm assuming that these all being constructed is a factor. How many buoys do we have out? No salvage buoys at all. I think people must be being overworked at the moment, so I won't set any more objectives until these missions are complete. The game's pretty handy with having these little tutorials pop up as per needed when you make your incremental steps forward in technology. And where are you off to? Salvage boat. Okay, picking up some metal or whatever other resource. That provides us with 8 technology. Now I've seen about the cyclic nature of the map, i.e. when you finish, you start at the beginning and you can just play through multiple times. I like this game a little bit more. I mean, apart from the jumps every now and then, like there, and if I just move the camera around. By the way, I have tried changing the level of performance, and it doesn't really make any difference, level of detail. Still seem to get these slowdowns, so I have the graphics turned up so I can enjoy the rest of the time. That said, the game doesn't look bad in any mode. Quite like the style. It's a bit like something that might exist in the Borderlands universe. Obviously with less DLC and microtransactions, and macro-transactions, actually. I am finding it strange I still don't appear to be able to build a lot of things, but that's better. Fit a barbecue in around here? I mean, I suspect I'm going to need more than one. That's another mission completed. So I'm going to be audacious and set a few salvage boys now. Do we have any plastic? Okay, so this map has a criminal shortage of plastic, which is very disappointing. Okay, so this isn't a very good map for expansion. Obviously the food is super handy, so I'd be a fool to not get some of that stored. It was at this point I took a little break for the evening, and when I came back online I noticed there'd been a patch. Amongst the various issues that had been fixed were performance-related bugs that might have affected the skipping. So, you know, well done to the devs, and hopefully that'll make things a bit smoother. Of course, your side, I doubt you can barely tell with the crazy edits that I've got all over the place. Okay, so hopefully this time I'll be able to work out how to get a fish kebab done. And I will be able to reap the rewards of the performance patch. Let's give it a little spin to see if it's made any difference. I think that does seem a little bit smoother, but we will see as we continue to play. I think I've completed all of the missions here. I have indeed. Well done me. Little pat on the back there. So we have plastic to collect. And a lot of wood. Not very much plastic, sadly. So there won't be very much expansion on this map. Just as much as it is possible to do before my supply of food runs out. I have quite a lot of dried fish already, so I am going to stop one of these drying racks from drying fish. And I shall put him onto drying wood, because I believe the fish kebabs need undried fish. And 16.5 food is plenty for now. Bit of a stutter there. The most impressive stutters are always the ones that manage to happen when you're not even moving. Okay, there's a couple of little bits of plastic here. Let's pick those up. along with this wood. But plastic does seem to be one of the most important materials for construction. I've only got one, and this island is... keep on calling these maps islands. Excuse me if I continue doing that accidentally. But anyway, there's not very much plastic here. I've only got one. As already stated, that's a bit rubbish. I was hoping to build a path that would connect up around here. Not for any good reason, but just because I felt it would have made this area a bit more complete. Anyway, 6 beds, 6 people, only 4 ships. I would like to build a place for another salvage ship. That would require 3 more plastics, so I should be able to get that done. But we also need some rope, which I will find here. Let's plonk a couple of ropes on there and get rid of the firewood, which we no longer need very often. And we shall turn that on. Get a few spare bits of rope. Okay, so the fish kebab place seems to be up and running, and it requires fire, so we will actually be using the workshop woodworking shed. How much firewood do we have? 16. Yeah, we can leave that running. We'll just put that on infinite. And I'm going to turn off my other drying rack so that we stop producing nibble fish. Dried fish, rather. And that should make the fish go a lot further. Hopefully making Captain Birdseye proud in the process. Do have to give the devs some credit in that they managed, within the space of me managing to get another episode of this gameplay video out, to increase the performance in such a short period of time. So they're clearly, you know, working on this at a reasonable pace. I would like to get my people houses, but I sort of don't want the responsibility of spending my resources on them when I don't know what the benefits are. Got 6 research points. What does it cost to build one? See, 8 scrap metal. I'm just not prepared to lose that. That said, I do notice that I have enough metal for another fish kebab place, so that will happen as soon as my salvage boats get to work. I'm beginning to suffer from a bit of a lack of workers, as all of my people are busy. Still got 2 fish boys and 4 salvage boys. 3 salvage boys because one of them's being taken care of by the seagull, which is fantastically useful. Can't say enough good things about the seagull. I think I made that clear in my earlier comments. There's a good chap. Normally seagulls just ruin my recordings by squawking in the background. I haven't had one actually be useful in game. Just used to them sitting on top of the roof of where I record and going mental. Well, I think it's back into super fast forward mode for me, as I spend most of the game. That's not to say that it's bad, just, you know, I think that with a lot of strategy games you need to speed up the time. And this is one of those strategy games. That's why they include the option, I suspect. Is anyone working in my fish kebab place? Yes. Okay, good. And where is that? 5 cooked fish. Excellent. I have never been in such a comfortable position whilst playing this game. That said, I've only played 1 or 2 games of it. Got loads of food, got loads of water. This is the Flotsam life, I think. Probably doesn't get much better than this. I think I owe all of my success to the solar stills there. Don't tell them that though. Just harvesting the stuff. Once I have a stable and efficient way of producing fish, I really will be able to just blossom in terms of population. I'll be able to pick up as many villagers as I can. Up until now, there's always been the question in my mind of how I would manage all of the needs in terms of just the water. The insane amount of effort that was spent. First of all, drying the wood on the drying racks, and then turning that dried wood into firewood, and then using that firewood to boil water. When you've only got like 3 or 4 people to tell what to do, that's 3 jobs there. And I need at least like 4 or 5 people to fan me, feed me grapes, and all of that stuff. Except I can't eat grapes. You get the idea. It might come off a bit like I'm just filling space. There, I realise. And I start presenting myself as like a modern day Nero. I think that perhaps I haven't got enough to do in the game. And for some reason my people just seem ideologically against the notion of picking up any of this plastic. Oh, I've reached my limit in terms of storage. Okay. Well, that's an emergency, or like an issue that needs resolving, which I can't resolve because I don't have any plastic, and I don't have anywhere to put any plastic. Hopefully, we will burn some wood and some fish to make some fish kebabs, and that will reduce the space in my storage yards. Both my boats are going to get stuck now because there's nowhere to put any of the stuff that's already on them. As a byproduct of burning things, I am slowly making space. I might turn on my distiller just to get rid of some wood. There we go. The gross inefficiencies of producing water via the distiller should fix my issues with storage. I just need some of this plastic to be unloaded. Then I could build some storage and I could start fixing this issue. Although to be fair, it's getting better. I think now it is just a case of people carrying stuff around. The distiller does just completely mock wood ownership. The distiller is just the destroyer of forests. But it's fixing my storage issue slightly. Hey now, my plastic's been unloaded. Don't really want to build an exciting storage building, but I will, because I need one. And I will build a mooring point, so that when I am ready, I can salvage. And both of those buildings should help me clear up some space. And hopefully I will still be able to build another fish kebab shortly. I can turn this off because it is a waste, and I now have space in my storage, so that should all be fine and dandy. Back to staring from a distance in fast forward. Performance definitely does seem to be a bit smoother, which makes the game a lot more enjoyable. Is there any food left on this island? On this island. There we go, island again. No, there is not. And we only have 5 days food left. Well, that's happened. That blindsided me. Totally. And we've hardly got any salvaging done. I guess that's the downside of playing fast forward. Let's extract as much plastic and whatnot as we can in the meager time we have left. And get one more fish kebab place done. And I think I will improve my storage for the future too. Can I get one there? Can I get one there? Yeah, I can get one there. Just to reduce the time between my boats being unloaded and them being able to depart once more. Gonna get another salvage boat so I can make the most of these last minute sweeps of the island. The big balancing act in this sort of latter stage of each of the maps is just making sure that you've got enough food to start off in the next area before you'll pick more up. I've never found an area that doesn't have any food yet, if I ever do, because I leave so little when I start the next map. I'll probably find myself in a bit of a pickle. I'll be in more of a pickle than a pickled herring stuck on a Sudoku. Okay, so 3.5 food is pushing it a little bit tight, even by my standards. So let us go on to the leaking water tower, or the viaduct. So, an abandoned town, or water, which also has an abandoned town. Okay, I'm going to go this way. I don't need the extra water, but 2 things instead of 1. Still more, isn't it? Okay, so game paused, as always. And I think we've got, a bit of a look at the new performance there. If I complete this island, and maybe the next island, just to show the end and the looping feature of the map, I will see you there. Of course, if anyone's even remotely interested in that, do let me know, and I will make that more of a priority. All in all, though, this game seems pretty solid, and the devs seem pretty dedicated to patching it and getting it to a finished state. And I'm curious to make it round the map a few times and see the final implementation of the campaign system. Seems like quite an interesting idea. That said, for now, I'll say goodbye. Or perhaps I'll say goodbye because that was the most nasal and awful voice I've ever done in my life.